What's up, guys? Welcome to Elephant in the Room. He's Jake Coker. I'm Mick Gillispie. Love talking to you guys here on Disrupt the Media's Roll Tide Pods. This is the show that we do. We try to do it twice a week. We talk Alabama football mostly, but now some basketball, athletics, whatever's going on. And obviously today we're not in the same spot, but we're very appreciative to hang out. And I want to remind you guys that our show is presented by some of the great sponsors in the game of sponsors. And I'm going to start with Roback. Use the promo code ROOM20 to look like him. Look, he's got his Roback gear on, 20% off that first order when you use ROOM20.
Hey, somebody asked me about this shirt the other day. I had to give them the old ROOM20 discount.
That's what you got to do. That's your job now. You got to push ROOM20 to all of our friends and family and the people that hang out with us here so that they'll use it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're going to buy it anyway, you might as well use 20% off ROOM20, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great stuff, though, especially this time of year. You know, you get out there and golf. Scottie Scheffler didn't have a very good start to the day.
Man, is that not one of the craziest things you've ever seen or heard?
Well, what happened? Yeah, I guess there was an accident and there was traffic, and he is the number one golfer in the world. So I guess he decided to not follow direction, and he was just going to kind of speed by the officers. They didn't take that very well, and he got locked up.
So
that's so funny to me.
I just saw the video that there's a reporter. You know, he's in cuffs. He's like, "Can y'all help me out?" Like, no, you're going to jail, pal. That's it.
Yeah, how about that?
You know, you'd think he could get out of it, but then again, if a cop tells you to do something, you better do it. I mean, I don't think he was fighting them at all once they put him in cuffs, but I mean, look, that's one thing my dad always told me. If a cop tells you to do something, you better do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no fighting, running, whatever. I mean, you when they tell you to do something, you better make sure you do it the first time they ask you.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And here's the bottom line. It's frustrating. You know, anytime you're stuck in traffic, it's frustrating. You're trying to get in somewhere. You know, obviously, he probably had whatever credential he needed to get in, and the police weren't moving because someone was actually killed in an accident. You know, so they had to do the police report. Maybe they were trying to rescue the guy. Who knows what was going on?
Yeah.
But even if you're Scottie Scheffler, you got to follow the rules, man. I mean, nothing frustrates me more. I spend so much time driving up and down the interstates, between Tennessee and Alabama mostly, but in the Mississippi and sometimes Georgia, when there's a backup and some jackass just decides to like bolt around everybody. Look, we're all trying to go there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
that's been me.
People like you, I hate, you know.
Ride the shoulder to the next exit, just get out of there.
Well, and that's different now. If you can get off, now I'm a back roads guy too. Like if I see a bunch of cars backed up, I put the GPS on. If I can, I did it twice yesterday, you know, through Chattanooga and then through Knoxville, like, you know, coming up to the ballpark. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the people that want to just like, you know, like they think they're going to cut the line. And that's obviously what he did. And the police told him where to go. He didn't do it. And, you know, he embarrassed himself. And I'm sure there's people that are going to blame the police. But, man, if you're trying to work, someone died, you know, and it's like, look, man, your golf's really important and you're good at it. But Justin Thomas didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
do you like that? Did you get that? You catch that? Roll Tide. Now, I'm sure that he's just got a lot of street cred though. Like once you get the police, you get that picture. And a lot of people that maybe don't like golf are going to be like, man, that's the guy that got arrested, you know?
They did. They had I saw a meme today. They had, you know, the golfers' mugshots. They had Tiger, they had John Daly, Scottie Scheffler, and Shooter McGavin.
I was at the airport one time in Arizona coming back. I think I was coming back from spring training, and Shooter McGavin was there, and somebody like yelled, "Hey, Shooter." And he did the Shooter thing. I just thought that was awesome. Like the guy just still like he just loves that, or at least, he's cool to do that. Like, I just thought, like, how many of these guys are like kind of stars in that movie like that, where they kind of have this role, and we just
that's their entire image. I mean, that's where I know him from.
Yeah, right. Did you ever watch Different Strokes?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, I don't think he was given a whole lot of what you're talking about Willis's when he got older.
Yeah, I don't think
you got to do the stare. But that was like one of the most famous like lines and I mean, that guy was Gary Coleman. I loved Gary Coleman. Yeah, I did. I mean, even though he's like a mean security guard, Chappelle did the skit.
He was a wild card when he got older.
You see, like Chappelle did the skit of him as a security guard. He caught some woman stealing. It's so funny. But then tragically we lost him too young. But anyway, yeah, Scottie Scheffler it was in police custody. I'm sure he's out by now, but
yeah, he showed up. I saw him. He showed up at the golf course, but I'd probably bet on him to win now.
Yeah, you think so?
Even though he probably has the worst odds, or I mean the best odds of anybody. It's probably bet 100 to win 100.
Yeah, what a humbling experience.
Oh yeah. And he's a pretty humble guy. I mean, to be the number one golfer and really on one of the hottest runs ever since Tiger, he's about as under the radar as any golfer out there for the most part. I feel like, right? I mean, you don't see him off the course or doing things outside of golf where his image is just out of this world fame. Or am I wrong there?
No, I don't really know him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to tell you that that I follow golf. Because I don't.
If Tiger Woods does that and he's sober headed to a tournament, I mean, I don't know. He might get away with that,
Yeah, right. Well, you're right, because people would know that was Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, like that's obviously Tiger Woods. Scottie Scheffler gets pulled over at night. You don't see his face for a while, and I mean, you're busy. Who's this guy? Who's this guy think he is?
Yeah, right. The number one player.
I'm going to play golf. Oh, you're going to play golf. You're in a rush to go play golf. You go to jail.
He wants to play golf. License and registration, buddy. Yeah, get out of the car. Get out of the car.
We're going to teach this country club kid a lesson.
Yeah. I guess like to people that watch golf, he's a familiar face, but for us that are, we watch the Masters. And when I say watch,
I watch it a little bit Saturday afternoon and I'll watch it on Sunday, but I mean, I'm not glued to the TV when golf is on, but I do enjoy watching the Sunday round.
See, to me, when I think of you and I think of golf, I think of a Rhoback sweatshirt and a nap.
You need to think bombs, right? Right into people's backyards.
Is that you golfing?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, so I just see a relaxing Sunday, like on your couch with curled up in your Rhoback, like long sleeve, like, getting a nap. You got the golf on,
Oh yeah, that actually, yeah. Sunday, when I say I watch golf, it's in between falling in and out of sleep on Sunday afternoon. Yeah, that's about right.
Great sleep sport.
Oh yeah, perfect sleep sport.
It's long. It's like the games never end too. When I was in the hospital last year having that emergency appendectomy, they had the Masters was on, and I was laying in there, and I was like half in and out on all the drugs they gave me. It was like this, like, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, man, this is just mad. Like, it was on forever, like it never ended. Like, and I was like, this is great, Something in between pumps of the pen, Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. It blew up the internet too, right? I mean, like because they had the video of him and he's going to a tournament, and the police are not letting him go. Like they're not giving him the pass, the master's pass. Like he's not.
So have you seen the video of him getting taken to the cop car to get taken to jail?
I saw some of it. What happened here?
Oh, there's a guy in the press, and I don't know who it is, but he's like, he's like, so guys, is there? The cop keeps cutting him off. He's like, you better get back. You better get back. And the cop comes back, and he's like, who are you? He goes, I'm with the press. And he's like, there's nothing that you can say or do right now that's going to keep him out of jail. You understand that, right? It's like, you can figure it out later, but he's going to jail. It was like, damn, this is.
Yeah.
I mean, they were obviously pissed off, and I mean, when you know the circumstances, somebody died in a wreck. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, let me tell you this, Jake, and this goes to you and a lot of other people out there. This is a learning lesson. When you get into these situations where you're driving, and if you have a nice, big, beautiful pickup truck, just sit back in there and turn on some tunes and relax.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just
maybe drink a beer.
I'm kidding. That'd even be funnier. That kind of brings
you beer to a cop as you drive by.
Right. Good job, guys. This bud's for you. That brings me to my next thing. Is that I don't think that the Dunaway roast is really taken off. But what if we did a Jake Coker roast just to kind of get it going? Would you be up for that?
I mean, yeah, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. A lot of material to work with there.
What if you had like outside of the comedians for the Coker roast? And I've been thinking about this when I was in the car driving, like how I think that a Coker roast would really loosen Dunaway up for the Dunaway roast, right? Like he may be monkey see, monkey do. Like he doesn't want to do it. He knows it's going to be painful, but we want this for him because it would be hilarious. But it would be hilarious to get you first because you said a lot of good content. What if you had Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin? What if you had Jimbo? I mean, think about that dais, right? That's just those three. Derrick Henry. That'd be like four. I mean, that could be a made-for-TV event. Just if you had those four on top of the great comedians that we would have, because I'm sure that Jeff Ross would see that and be like, "Oh, I got to be there for that." Nikki Glazer would be like, "Who are we roasting?"
Maybe Funny Mane and Roll Tide Willie.
Oh, Roll Tide Willie. I'm sure he'd have some great material. What's that guy, the guy that used to be on The Real World, Theo? Maybe he's a roaster.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of, I think he's gettable. I told you Rocky Dale Davis is from Brookwood. Hasn't really like blown up in fame, but he's hilarious, really funny dude, and growing. But you got, I mean, who else is like, who could we got to get, I don't think that Kevin Hart would come.
No.
Jeff Foxworthy. What if we got Jeff Foxworthy? He might do it.
I saw him at a wedding one time.
Did you?
Dylan Lee's wedding. Yeah, he was at Dylan Lee's wedding.
There's the connection. There's the connection.
Oh, yeah. It was me and Ryan Kelly were standing next to each other, and we were talking, and we were like, holy shit, is that Jeff Foxworthy?
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Mobile Civic Center. It's time for the Jake Coker roast. Jeff Foxworthy.
Hey, I didn't know you had that capability. Right there, but next time we're in studio, I am utilizing the shit out of that.
You can use this one too, pal.
Ryan's gonna love
that. Also starring Ryan Anderson. Can you imagine the between the athletes that we could have and then the comedians, we could raise a lot of money for charity. That would be the whole purpose of this, and to also to urge Dunaway to be the next guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd have a hard time. I feel like I'd have a hard time getting those guys to commit. But for Dunaway, I think people would be coming out of the woodwork,
Well, he's famous. I mean, he's our most famous friend. He probably, I don't even know if he watches our show because probably a waste of his time. But for us, we watch his show every day. I think he's a funny dude. I know that it would be so humbling though. Like just when you start really breaking down what it would be like to get just destroyed for 2 hours. But some of us like being the center of attention.
Hey, when I met Dunaway again, I don't know if I've told this story before, but when I met Dunaway, we were at Lost Key Golf Club down in Orange Beach, and we were playing with Ryan and Paul over at the Floor Mama.
Oh yeah, Paul Register.
Yeah, and we're I'm putting to win a hole or something like that. It's like a 6-foot putt, and I mean I lip out, miss. He goes, can't hand it off to Derrick Henry out here, can you? I was like, hell of an icebreaker.
Yeah. Well, Dunaway would be one of the guys on your roast.
Oh yeah.
We could, just to get a feel for what it would be like for him to kind of get that,
Oh yeah.
That opportunity.
Yeah. You get to punch the bag first, then you get to be the punching bag afterwards.
Yeah. I think it would be awesome. But I think you should go first.
Hey, okay. One question for you here, and we won't dive off into it if you don't want to, but I've been really confused by this Harrison Butker deal the last couple of days.
No, let's talk about it. So,
because you go ahead.
Oh no, you just set it up, and then I'll give you my opinion, and we'll talk. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, I haven't listened to the whole thing. I mean, honestly, the clips that I heard, I mean, I can't imagine being offended by that. But, I mean, a guy that, to me, seems to be somewhat of a model for society, in my opinion, works hard, takes care of his family. I don't know much about his personal life, but obviously he's pretty strong-willed in his faith and in his community, and his ultimate goal is to raise a family that's loving and a benefit to society. I mean, that's kind of, to me, how you should live your life. He talked about his wife being a homemaker, and in my opinion, my whole life has been, I always thought when I got married, the ultimate goal was to, go out, make enough money to support your family, and hopefully one day your wife can stay at home with the kids and raise them, because she's going to be the best person or individual that could possibly do that. You married your wife for a lot of reasons. One, because you trust her, love her, believe in the things that she believes, and you want your kids to grow up and be like them, a lot of values that she shares. So, I mean, to me, that's the ultimate goal. And even as a dad, you go out and you work, to do those things, to support your family, and hopefully allow your wife to do that. And hopefully she wants to do that. And, if she doesn't want to do that, that's great. Work, do whatever you want. But I'm just so confused by the hate that he's received for making those comments. It's just dumbfounding to me. I don't understand the society we live in where that's so he can be a villain because of saying that.
Well, you got to remember a couple things. First is that there is a very, 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 very loud minority that think that they're the only ones that are entitled to an opinion. And whether I agree or disagree with anyone's comments, I am a firm advocate of free speech, the First Amendment. And there's a reason why, Jake, that it's the First Amendment. It's because you have to have free speech. Now, we're in a society where there is an element that is trying to force us to not have free speech, that would love to take that away from us with a bunch of other rights that we have in this country. But that's the one to me that is the most important one. And I think that's why it is the first one. Now, you can disagree with someone and debate them. I went to Alabama and did that. I was in Dr. Alza Coffey's classes for politics, for political science and sociology. I actually talked to one of my best friends yesterday from those classes, Kelvin Gosa, who was a two-time police officer, was in 2 Gulf wars. And him and I agree on a lot of stuff. We disagreed on a lot of stuff. But we're different. I'm a white guy. He's a black guy. He's one of my best friends. He was in my wedding. We became great friends, best friends, one of them, because we could go into that class and openly discuss topics and not have a fear of someone being offended, someone getting their feelings hurt. It was a debate every day with intellectual people. And what happened was I learned a lot about where his perspective was on things, and he learned a lot about mine. And we actually agreed on a lot more stuff than we disagreed on. And we even agree on more stuff now that we're older. But the most important thing is that you have to have a free and honest debate with people, to really know where they're coming from. And this is another one of those situations where someone disagrees with the concept of a housewife. And I get that. I mean, who wouldn't want their wife out working and bringing in more money for the family, right? It's a great idea. Good concept.
I think it's great if women want to go out there and make money. That's a great thing. I mean, it's more
money. Come on.
Yeah. No,
I know what he was saying. He's a traditional family guy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, pushing it on your wife would be a little much. I mean, if your wife wants to go work. But
the bottom line to me isn't even what he's talking about. I'm just disgusted by these people that think that someone else isn't entitled to have their opinion. We're all entitled to have our opinion. I've told you, I grew up as a kid in a black neighborhood. Most people were great to me. All my friends were black. it was easy to spot me. I'll just put it like that. With that said, there were some people that didn't like me because of my skin color. You know what? But it was a very small minority. And I didn't like that. But you know what? I took the time to get to know God. They were black Muslims, like Louis Farrakhan guys. They're out with the bow ties, handing out newspapers. And I think what we found out there, the same thing, is that we all kind of are mostly alike and not a whole lot different, and that interacting with somebody like me gave them the idea that, hey, man, you know what? You break, you go and you eat with somebody, you have a beer with somebody, you hang out with somebody, and they're entitled to their opinions and you're entitled to yours, but you can definitely be friends. But with this segment of society that wants to alienate and destroy someone for having a different opinion is dangerous. It's not dangerous that people could say, hey, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the Bible. I think the Bible's crap. That's not what we think, right? That's not what we believe, but they have a right to say that. It's not like we're going to everybody's house that says that and trying to get them fired from their job, and that's
right.
The dangerous thing here. But that's why you have to stand up for free speech. I think it's just another example of standing up to free speech, but we're all entitled to our opinions, man. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's right. I just, I usually, I don't know. You try to stay in your own lane as much, or at least I do, as much as I possibly can. You start talking about this stuff, but man, it's just gotten so out of hand. I can't even back. It's so mind-boggling to me how he can be villainized so much. Or
Well,
just
here's why.
About a healthy family.
He's because they know that the Kansas City Chiefs will probably get rid of him, and then now they've won this battle. They've shown us again that we're not allowed to have free speech. It's up to Kansas City to say, hey, man, the guy's entitled to his opinion. That doesn't represent our viewpoint, but that's what he thinks, and then go listen to somebody else's podcast that, came from a single parent home, that didn't have those options, and would have loved to have had those options, but we might have a different opinion. Whatever it is, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. It's just a difference of opinion here. And it's just crazy to me how we get so caught up in some of this stuff. It's like, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous that somebody would actually consider getting rid of this guy because he's a traditional family guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's wild. I mean, here's anybody who has kids and they value their relationship with their kids and the futures of their children more than anything else. You got to respect that,
I probably told you this before. We had a guy in our fraternity, our KA house, when I was in school that didn't drink, and he would come hang out with us at Galette's and play darts and all that stuff. And I had a lot of respect for him, man. The great Will Patton, because think about going through school with guys like me and drank a lot of beer.
Just that alone.
Had a lot of coldies back in the day, right?
That'll make you drink right there.
Very unpopular. I was a very unpopular friend of his.
He probably didn't drink around you. Then he'd get home and be like, shit, that was a long day being around Mick. I got to have one.
I remember him drinking like Dr. Pepper and playing video games. And there was a guy that worked there named Sam that just retired from Galette's. Did you ever go to Galette's? The guy had been there for he was there for decades, man. It's almost like an institution, sad. Like the last day when Galette's put up that it was like Sam's last day, but really cool college bar. If you guys are watching and you haven't been and you come to town, it's literally like a field goal from the football stadium. Right. And they play like on game days. They got these Yellowhammer drinks. And then they play like the fight song a lot and stuff. It's just a cool place. Have you gone there on a game day?
I don't think so.
Oh man, we got to go. We got to do this.
I've been there here and there, after games or, just at random times. Been a handful of times, but Innisfree was Innisfree was always my spot.
Well, Innisfree, there's definitely a connection between these two bars with some of the ownership, and then on top of that, and I'm pretty sure, right? Derek Purdy, isn't he part of both bars? Yeah, right.
I think so.
And that's another.
A few.
That's another Tuscaloosa legend, right there.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. We got to do this, man. That's what maybe we need to get like a camera crew and take you on like a real game day excursion one time.
Like a bar stool type
exactly.
type experience.
I just shuttle you around to all the spots.
That'd be a great time.
That would be a
great time.
We just crash people's tailgates. He was
somebody have to drive me back to Mobile and
I got that. I'll drive. I'm just kidding. But that would be a great time, man. So what do you think this weekend? What you got on tap?
Man, I'm not doing a thing this weekend and I can't wait. I might get a brisket, smoke it, save that for Saturday and then take some naps on Sunday. I can't wait. It's the first weekend in a while we haven't done anything. So you got to cherish those moments.
Yeah, well, everybody's going to be watching golf because they just pulled off one of the biggest publicity stunts in the history of golf. So what they did was they had the number one golfer arrested before the start of the first round, just to get everybody talking about golf on a Friday.
Can you imagine them? And I mean, I've seen Scottie Scheffler's interviews and the way he interacts with the media. And he's like, I mean, he's on point all the time, like very respectful. I don't know if the guy drinks or not or does anything. I mean, he's so family oriented, all that. I mean, I can't imagine the PGA getting together and being like, all right, here's the deal. We're going to get Scottie Scheffler arrested before this tournament on Friday. I can't imagine the round table of, well, what are we going to get him arrested for?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it sounds like the political world in this country right now. Hey, let me remind you that our show is presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. We've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home, right? MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. And you don't even have to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today, and a generous sign-up bonus using promo code NEXTROUND. And revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. The more you play, the more you win with MyBookie. So that you could do that this weekend.
I might.
You don't even have to wear pants. The funniest thing of the day, I guess we'll leave it at this, is my son graduated elementary school today, and I sent you this picture. He's all dressed up like he never dresses up, which is kind of a shame the way that these kids are now. But he looked great. He had like a button-down shirt and a pair of slacks, got his hair done. You know, he's going to walk the stage. And he tells us that he looks like Jake Coker. I mean, he's dead serious.
Oh.
He's not even joking. You know, honestly, he kind of does.
Oh.
Your style.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. Looking good, man. Looking good. Well, have a great weekend, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will be back in person next time, and we will keep an eye on what happens with Scottie Scheffler and everything else going on. Alabama recruiting, Dawson Merritt down to Alabama, and Nebraska. You know, if he announces, we'll talk about that. Any kind of moves that could happen this weekend. Khalil Jacobs, who was at USA, could possibly be visiting Alabama. We're not sure. He's been to Ole Miss and Auburn, and even though he played for Kane Womack, we're not 100% sure that he's going to go, because it really feels like it's coming down to those two. So I would say that right now he would be the last possibility of someone from the transfer portal, unless they just blow our minds with something going on there. But we'll keep an eye on that as well. And Alabama baseball plays Auburn, and we hope that Auburn continues having the season that they've had.
I'll be watching some of that.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Roll Tide, everybody.
Hopefully Scottie Scheffler can get through this. Roll Tide.